What's up, guys? Welcome back to our weekly series. And this week, I'm actually uploading on our scheduled day. And despite it actually being a short week this week, since I uploaded on Tuesday earlier this week, some stuff still actually happened. So we actually still have a good little bit stuff to talk about. Um, Before we get into it, please, guys, if you are not subscribed, please remember do so. And if you think you're subscribed, just double check and see. And if you have not given the video a like yet, do that for me, please. I know we're just in the beginning, but that would be nice. Thanks. Our first story actually might be probably our biggest story that I've reported on so far, which I have only been doing this for a few weeks, but that aside, this is pretty big. The NHTSA has been required to create a rule set for all new passenger vehicles to have some sort of onboard drunk/impaired driving detection system in them. How this is going to exactly be done, I'm not sure. These could range from literally having some sort of breathalyzer in the car to having some kind of updated version of like the already kind of in place distraction systems now, like how they kind of have the lane keep, all that goodness. They have the stuff that like watches your eyes and stuff too. I don't know if they're exactly gonna update that stuff or they're gonna be making new methods. Depending on how this is actually determined, questions do arise, and one of the big questions that arises, for me at least, is if these systems determine that you are impaired/drunk, what's gonna happen? Is the cars are gonna be like bricked? Are the cops gonna be called? Really, there's no telling what's actually gonna happen here. So we can only just wait and see what they actually put in place and what kind of rules they have, because this could potentially be something kind of invading of people's privacy, kind of, and I don't know really how that's gonna go. This is gonna be pretty interesting. So obviously, this is like in the very, very beginning stages. They just issued a statement about it to the OEMs actually like this week. OEMs have already kind of been working on this stuff, so because they've been aware. But by next year, this is actually happening next year by 2024. They're saying that they have to have that rule set in place. So that means OEMs are going to be doing this within the next couple years. So as stuff kind of rolls out, I'll keep an eye on it and I'll update you guys, because this is actually something that's going to be affecting everyone who wants to buy a new car. So, I mean, we'll see how this goes. Our next story might sound a little familiar if you watched our last video. Honda and Acura are recalling 2.6 million vehicles. Again, another over 2 million car recall, which is, again, crazy. But this one isn't nearly as bad. It's just bad fuel pumps across all Honda models, from Civic to NSX to everything in between. The Denso supplied fuel pumps are, I guess, going bad, and they're causing the engines to stall. So the recall is obviously just replacing these fuel pumps and getting you a new one. If you have a brand new Honda or Acura product, you should probably check and make sure that your fuel pump is not affected by this. I don't know if this is just brand new or over the last few years. I would like to assume that since it's 2.6 million, it's probably over the last couple model years. Not model years, but just production years. So if you guys have a recent Honda product, double check and make sure that your fuel pump is not a part of this. Alright, our next story is kind of two stories meshed into one, because we got two facelift reveals. The first is McLaren revealing the GTS, which is just a facelift of their GT model. It uses the same twin turbo V8 and it gets a 14 horsepower bump. And along with that comes with a few interior changes, wheel options, and color options. I'm pretty sure it may be tuned a little bit differently. I'm not entirely too sure on that, but as far as I'm aware, it's just the visual looks and the horsepower and interior changes. It looks pretty good. I personally like McLaren's styling right now. I like how the cars look, and I think this one is the same. It looks really good. Next facelift is Porsche, and we actually have some shots of the facelifted 911, the 992.2. And if any of you guys are familiar with Porsche, you know that the .2 is just the facelift of whatever current generation the car is on. Not across all Porsche models, not just 911. Across all the Porsche models, the Dot 2 is just a facelift. But with this facelift also comes a new hybrid system, which is actually self-charging. It's not a plug-in hybrid. It kind of just charges itself through the motion of the wheels, I'm assuming. Kind of like how, like the regenerative charge is in some hybrids and EVs now. I'm pretty sure that's probably all it is. And that will be used in the S and GTS models. And some various different models of the 911 are going to be getting an updated 3.6 liter engine rather than the 3.0 liter and the 4.0 that's in the RS and the ST. So I'm not sure how that's all going to work. I'm pretty sure they're going to, give us more details as everything comes out, because the 3.6 I believe is going to be there's going to be an N8 and a twin turbo version for the turbo models. So we'll see how they go about that. Our last story is kind of a bummer. A NASCAR museum owner in Winston-Salem, North Carolina had to recently sell and close down his museum, and like I say, he had to get rid of all the artifacts, memorabilia, champagne bottles, everything, the cars even. He had to sell it all. And the reason for this is because the name of his museum is Winston Cup Museum. The museum originally was opened back in 2005, and it was going fine. But in 2015, the cigarette brand Winston was sold to a subsidiary of the Imperial Tobacco Company. The subsidiary it was sold to was ITG, and ITG took it upon themselves to sue and sue and sue because of the name and because of everything inside of the museum. Winston, the cigarette brand, was saying that they had rights to everything, including the museum, and unless he did a brand change and got rid of everything inside of the museum, he would have to close it. And at first the courts dismissed this twice, actually, but companies are going to be companies, and they're going to be greedy, and they kept trying. And after 4 attempts of suing these people, they finally had to just give in and sell everything, because they just couldn't keep the legal battle going, because their pockets don't run as deep as the big company, which is sad to see. So I hope that those people are able to find a new way to sustain themselves, since they just had to close their business down. Hopefully they aren't affected too harshly, but I mean, they quite literally just lost what they've been working for almost 20 years. So that does suck, and I hope that it gets better for them, honestly. And with that, that is the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and again, if you guys enjoyed this, please like the video and leave a subscription. Subscribe to the channel, please. I don't know what I'm talking about. Again, thank you guys for watching, and you guys are awesome. I appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.